Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
The First Lady of New York Radio, Joan Hamburg. Entertaining and informative. Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Welcome, everyone, to the Joan Hamburg Show. And I'm very happy to have Victoria Clark with me today because I'm trying to think, Victoria, when I first saw you work, I don't remember if Light in the Piazza was the first thing I watched, but of course you won a Tony for that. And we loved that show, and then the world became yours right after that.
Well, I don't know about that, but that's very sweet of you to say. I've been so blessed to be in so many great shows, and this is a thrill.
Well, and this one is a thrill, but it was interesting to me because obviously the show is at the Booth right on West 45th Street in Manhattan, and you have been at the Booth before, so it's a good theater for you.
It is. I was. That's where I made. That was where my first Broadway show was with the original production of Sunday in the Park with George. I was a replacement vacation understudy when I was a wee tot, and it was thrilling to come back to that theater. And now we have a new understudy who is my age, my exact age when I first started. And I sat down with him last night and I said, "Oh, this place has good mojo, so you better watch out."
And it does. But here in Kimberly Akimbo, it's a great part too, and a great play. You are a high school kid with a terrible fictional disease, but there really is a disease like this. I don't forget what they call it, but it's a rapid aging illness, which gives this teen a whole persona of a very old person. Her body has become and is starting to go very old.
Right. So there is a real disease called progeria, which is a disease that causes the body to age much more rapidly than it should. And but this David Lindsay Abaire wrote the play that our musical is based on, Kimberly Akimbo, and this is a disease that's somewhat loosely based on that, but it's different, has different qualities to it. So he can have he has more license as a playwright to expand upon what Kimberly can and cannot do. But we have had a lot of audiences coming who have heard about, Kimberly's circumstances, and a lot of people with diseases and, conditions that are troubling to them. And I've been honored to meet them and speak with them afterwards.
Right. And I mean, I actually knew someone from childhood who had this kind of, we don't know the exact same, but close enough. And you could definitely feel the audience recognizing it. And certainly as we all get older, believe me, we know what it's like when the body doesn't behave like it did when we were 14, 15, right? We say, "Body, what happened to you?" Right.
And it also is it's wonderful fodder for humor too, because, those of us who are getting up there, we know how funny these things can be when it takes us a while to get up out of a chair.
Exactly.
Suddenly we're laughing because things that used to be easy aren't quite easy anymore. But even Kimberly's family, which is just hilariously dysfunctional, that's a great source of humor. And I think people are surprised at how funny this is, because it's not really about, this show is not about the debilitating illness. It's about life and how we appreciate life and love life and enjoy life. And, that's a lesson that we need to really take to heart.
Right. It's about seize the moment. And I
Absolutely.
love that because we don't do it enough. And here, right on Broadway, we're reminded, not right in your face, but in a very funny, tender, I can recognize that way. It's incredibly special. And we
Thank
certainly,
you.
right? We know all about changes. And was it true that you were worried about your voice and you didn't necessarily want to sing or act? You were off to another adventure and then things happened.
Well, yes. I mean, Joan, life is mysterious, and I think what's really great about what's happened for me with this project is that I've been reminded about what a great sense of humor God has and the universe. And I just as soon as we think we know what we want and we go charging off in that direction, we have to switch lanes. And so I was doing more film and television. I was directing more. I was creating new work. I was writing. And I had said, well, I'm done with my 8 shows a week. And so, I was approached by the composer Gene Tesori and the director Jessica Stone, and they basically chased me down for this part. And I'm so glad that they did. And I'm so glad I got over my
Fear.
my fear and my anxiety about how strenuous. I mean, that's one thing people don't realize. I mean, when they go to see a Broadway show, those actors that you're watching, they either just finished a matinee or they're about to do another one right after you leave. So it is incredibly grueling.
Exhausting, yeah.
It's exhausting. And as we age, I mean, it's like doing the Tour de France 94 times in a row.
Oh.
I mean, it never lets up. And so it's our joy to do this show for audiences, but I think everyone, it's good that people don't realize it because our job is to make it look quite easy.
Yes, which you do. But did you notice at some point, if it did happen, that your voice changed, or at least it changed to you enough to create a little bit of fear?
You know what happened was, so the vocal cords are muscles, and so just like hamstrings and feet and everything,
Whatever.
they change. Yeah, they change, and so after menopause, the voice changes radically. And I've had tremendous teachers and coaches, and I've been able to work myself at getting the voice back in shape.
And you did.
I did, and my stamina has improved. And yes, there are other actors who are doing 7 shows a week, and I'm proud to say I turn in 8 shows a week almost all the time. I mean, sometimes I get sick, but I try not to.
And you can probably use the sickness as part of your character.
Well, that's the thing, unless I can't stand up, I should come in and do my show because since it's a made-up disease, she can have almost any symptom.
Right. No, yet it's a disease. Well, because it's made up, you sort of recognize everything. And it isn't even a disease. Sometimes when I decide, all right, push yourself, you're going to walk around the block, a city block, a couple of times. And then I talk to my knees and say, what, are you fooling? Move. Mm-hmm. You've got to do it. But it definitely changes no matter what.
I would say, yes, and the change is not something to be feared. I mean, we all know this is coming, right? So the idea is like, how do we change our mindset so that we can embrace the change and, love ourselves and stay patient within ourselves, but also, recruit the support that we need from our friends and family. I think sometimes we're so independent and we're afraid to ask for help. And I think we got to throw those ideas out the window. We got to just say, hey, I need your support here. And this is what I need. And please, come to my rescue when we need it.
Yeah, no, I think that's really important. And I remember I had you on, I forget when, and we were talking about the effect that music has had on you and the normal anxieties that people who have those gifts have. Maybe one day you open your mouth and that gorgeous voice doesn't want to come out the way you want it to.
Right. It's true. I mean, here's the thing about singing, because it's it's not an instrument that you pick up. It's an instrument that lives inside of us. So it is the only instrument that is inside the human body. So it's affected by everything. It's affected by emotion, by fatigue, by hormones. It's affected by adrenaline. And so the mastery of the speaking and singing voice has to do with the mastery of oneself and really understanding yourself and understanding what you're going through so that you can pause and breathe and recenter. And it is a lifelong art, and it is my passion, and it's something that I'm deeply devoted to.
And of course, as an artist, you also are a perfectionist, and you want everything, why not, as perfect. So I'm sure that you're so hard on yourself a lot of times, demanding.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Joan, because this is something I've learned as I've gotten older, which is to let go of that. And it was so hard, but this show has really taught me that is not the A1 goal here in life. Sometimes, and most of the time, actually, it is enough to just show up with your heart and soul and let go of this idea that I have to get things perfect, because it's a troubling, dangerous thing to think that I'm not worthy unless I'm perfect. Mm-hmm. And the point is that we're all on a journey of discovery, and this show has taught me, and this character has taught me to just be, and that whatever can shine through on that particular performance, that will be enough, and it has to be enough, and it's more than okay. It's perfect.
And I'm just curious, this must have been a complicated show to book, and the lead, because find an actress who's truly gifted, who is of a certain age and is required to play a teenager and give it all. Did your agent find it? Did they find you? How did it happen?
No. Janine Tesori, the composer, and I have been friends and colleagues for years. I would say, over 30 years. And we sit on a couple of boards of arts organizations here in New York. And she says she looked across at me during a board meeting when I was cutting up and being quite silly. And she sent a text message to David Lindsay-Abaire, the playwright, and said, it's Vicky. And I didn't know that story, but it turns out like she saw me being quite silly, and it hit her. Oh, here's
what I want.
Yeah, I think I read that she said in an interview, I have the twinkle in my eye of a fifth grader that's playing kickball, that's about to kick a ball across the playground or something like that. So I do have a very mischievous side, and it gets free reign in this show for sure.
Which is great. But when they offered it to you, did you go for it, or did you hesitate?
Oh, no. I ran away from it 100 miles an hour. I put my running shoes on and ran away as fast as I could. Well, because I'd made such a commitment to doing different kinds of work. Uh-huh. And when you do something like this, I don't like to do more than one thing at a time when I'm working on my art. so that's almost impossible to do these days because everyone multitasks. But right. I had read the script and heard the score, and I knew I would have to put absolutely everything on hold. And I have. My family and friends are waiting. I don't go out. I don't see anyone. Besides you, talking to you today, I will not talk at all until I go to the theater. I am extremely nun-like. I am sequestered and cloistered. And that's a big a sacrifice. And so when you sign a contract like this, it means you have to be committed. And I wasn't sure I was ready to give up 52 weeks of my life like that. But I have, and I am, and I'm thrilled to be doing it.
Right. And it's a big, successful show, so it could run forever.
I hope it does. We're in an open-ended commercial run. I want as many people as possible to come see us and experience this.
And when you got the Tony, everyone says, oh, you're going to win a Tony. I don't mean only to you. It's just, like congratulations even before things happen. Was that a shock in many ways? You had already won a Tony and had been nominated for Tonys.
It was a shock because, you know, in your heart, you know the work that you're doing, but we're not able to see other people's work. So we can't appreciate the work that other artists are doing right now. And so we don't know what the field is like. And frankly, you know, we're also different. It's like trying to choose between an avocado and a pineapple.
Right.
We're all doing significant work. So it is to me, any one of the beautiful actors in my category would have been, you know, it is their right to win, and they could have won. And so I was shocked, actually. And
it's a nice thing to take home.
Well, I mean, the thing that I'm most proud of is that, as a friend pointed out to me today in a text, I was the oldest actor to win in any category, but playing the youngest.
That's perfect. And not only did you win, but the show won too.
The show won. We won. Kimberly Akimbo won the most Tony Awards of any show this season, play or musical, and we are very proud.
Right, and we were all, those of us who were involved in theater looking in, we thought, oh my gosh, this strike and everything, don't let them kill the Tonys, because the theater needs all the help it can get in terms of selling tickets. Mm-hmm. And thank goodness that didn't happen, but it was a close call.
It was a close call. It was down to the wire. There are so many new shows. I mean, people need to just come in and see everything. I mean, definitely see Kimberly Akimbo, but you need to go see New York with this incredible cast and music. You know, God bless John Kander, still going,
right,
winning his special Tony Award. Some Like It Hot, with sensational performances by J. Harrison G. and, you know, Christian Boyle. It's an incredible show. And then there's Anne Juliet. People just need to come see everything.
Yeah, no, I believe that.
All these shows.
I did that. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Dallas.
So you wanted to be a performer early on?
I guess I did. I kind of wanted to be a doctor first, and so I think this is a good combination, because I do believe in the healing power of theater. And the arts in general. If we do it right, we're healing.
I believe
we're transforming that, and we're creating cathartic experiences for people to heal and renew.
You know, every time I go to theater, and there's that moment right before the curtain goes up when usually a noisy house suddenly becomes so still and waiting. Call it healing, call it whatever, but the magic that's going to take place no matter what. And like you, I believe in seeing everything. You know, don't worry about whether critic A loved it or didn't love it. Go see everything. It's all right, all a different experience, all amazing, and it's all this kind of time where the world stands still and you're in another world, and it's a gift.
Right. It is a gift, and I think of theater as food, Joan. You know, like in New York is the food capital of the world. It's also the theater capital of the world, and musical theater is a distinctly American art form. And so people come from all over the world. People have come from, I've had people speak to me that have come from China, Tokyo, Tel Aviv, Cape Town, Ireland, Scotland. People are just coming from everywhere. And sometimes you want a taco, sometimes you want sushi, sometimes you want a smoothie, sometimes you want a steak. And so New York has the best of all these kinds of spiritual food to offer when it comes to theater. And, you know, that's why you should come and just eat it up.
That's right. And now you can take that voice, which has been with you since you were a little girl, and welcome it, even though it never went away. But I'm sure in your head, you put it away for a little while. But here it is, back again, raining on Broadway, and exciting for all of us.
Thank you, Joan. I appreciate it so much.
Well, I love having you on. Congratulations on the wins and on the thrill that you're giving all of us. Kimberly Akimbo, it's at the booth on West 45th Street. Go see it. I'll talk to you very soon. And again, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I'm Joan Hamburg, and you're listening to WABC. Much more ahead.